How are y'all doing? Sorry we're about 5 minutes late today. It's going to be a big day today for a lot of stuff to discuss. So, once again, if you are new to this, my name is Proto Man, and this is the Transformer Slag podcast live stream Saturday night hangout main event. How y'all doing? We got a lot of news. I was just spending time doing all the slides, and I was like, man, we got a lot. We got a lot tonight. A lot of stuff to talk about. It is going to be crazy. Got 2 bottles of water this time. That's much. I already started going through this one. This one nice and fresh from the freezer. So we're going to have a lot to discuss. We ran a little late because I was out related to something that I'll mention later in the podcast, but in the stream. So let's do that, shall we? Shall we? We'll jump into the news, and then we'll take some super chats and enjoy the rest of the day all together with everyone. So, first piece of news I want to cover is the mention of the new Transformers video game that we've been waiting for. This was something we discussed, I feel like it was last year, and there was this convention in China called the China Joy Convention, and it's a entertainment and video game expo. And this convention talked about a potential Transformer video game that they were working on with Certain Affinity. Certain Affinity are the people who pretty much handle the Halo brand and Call of Duty and a lot of those really good 3D shooters and third-person 3D shooters and stuff like that, FPSs, for the lingo of the fandom. Now, this kind of fell quiet. The original prototype name for the game was Transformers Impact. Then it became Transformers Online, and it kind of stayed as Transformers Online for a while. Now we know it's going to be called Transformers Rise, and we know it's going to have a G1 aesthetic, and it's going to be something. We don't know much really just yet about that, but we'll find out in the near future. They're assuring us that this is going to be a AAA Transformer game, that this is going to be handled much like how they handle their Halo and their Call of Duty brands. So that does give us a little bit of confidence after the past few Transformer related games and stuff have been more of the mid-tier kind of effort. If you had a good time with them and they were fun, that's fine too. I don't blame you. I'm enjoying a lot of the mobile stuff and everything, but they're not exactly that higher budget, A+ kind of games that we've seen in the past, like, let's say, War of Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. So we'll see what happens with that. There's, again, a lot of little rumblings and stuff going on in the background of a Generations aesthetic between the years of 2006 and 2012. That's kind of where they want to pull that aesthetic from. So the classics, Universe 2.0, the chug, if you will. I hate using that term, but that's probably the best way to describe it for some people. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Well, hopefully we'll have more information on it. They kind of went quiet for a while, and now we finally got some new information. Let's get into some new toys. So, number 1, bam! Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Wave 4 Deluxe Class Pipes. We finally got to see our first images of this, courtesy of someone in Vietnam that stole the toys and took some photos. The bottom left photo was obviously the guy in a rush, not knowing how to transform the toy, and then people eviscerating him and complaining and saying, hey, you don't know how to transform the toy. And then he transformed it properly to match the box art. That's what happens when you steal a toy. You don't have the box, you don't have the box art, you don't have reference, you don't have instructions. So that's what happens. So the top images really reflect how the product is going to finally look in the end. I think that he actually comes with 2 pipe weapons, like pipes, and he just only has one because that's what he could grab at the factory, and that's that. But I think he has 2. I think it would just make sense for him to have 2 weapons, because I look at the Huffer, and the Huffer has the one gun and then the little, I guess we call it the backhoe / trailer bed, whatever you want to call that, where I think that to balance it out, they'll give Pipes 2 guns to kind of, at least balance out the plastic and what's put out there. But Pipes has a lot of new tooling here. Really impressed. The whole upper torso is a brand new tooling from the crotch to the chest to the face to the arms. Everything going on there is looking real good. The only thing is when you look at that alt mode, it kind of just looks the same outside of obviously the arms, which make the exhausts. But I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I really like what I see. Again, Pipes is just one of those guys that just never really got a good rendition after his original 1986 version. He was always just destined to be a Huffer repaint straight up or not getting anything at all. So it's nice for him to get something new, even though even in the IDW book, spoiler, kind of got the squash in a lot of ways. So awesome. Really excited about that. I love the color of blue, deep blue, the deep white. Looks great. Super hyped. Oh, what's up, Aaron? How you doing? It's going to look great. Going to get me a lot of water in today because it is going to be a big one. Next up, we have Blue Streak is the other one that's being shown. I kind of wanted to just post some stuff with this slide here to give people a little bit of information because there is people that aren't really familiar with the concept of Blue Streak and what's the story with it. It was originally a Hasbro back in 1983 when they were doing the catalogs for the original first wave of G1 stuff. They were working with Diaclone and Microman toys to do the catalog photos. And one of the items that they grabbed was the Blue Streak, or the blue Datsun Z 280. And it was the Fair Lady Blue version. And they thought that was going to be the one they were going to use. And so much so that if you look at the top right there, that's actually what the animation model was going to originally be when Sunbow was first working on the planning stages for that character. Of course, then the Marvel comic debuted before the cartoon did, and they went with a different kind of color scheme, and that kind of influenced the final product in the end for the cartoon series. So the rest is history. But again, elusive thing, a lot of myth behind that. Some people claim they had it, some people didn't. And it just became this associated color and color scheme with that character, primarily because of the way the box art was depicted, the way the instructions were depicted, and all the rumors and everything related to that. So we have only a shot of the robot mode here. There is photos of the alt mode circulating around, but I'm not comfortable sharing it because it kind of also gives away some individuals' locations and stuff. And I rather they get caught under their own stupidity, not mine. Let's put it that way. But he's actually not a straight up repaint of Earthrise Blue Streak, which I appreciate. They actually use a lot of the molding cues from the Smokescreen Earthrise. While the head sculpt is using Blue Streak, the rest of the body seems like, from what we can tell from these photos and what we've seen from the alt mode photo that is in circulation, that it is in fact a Smokescreen repaint. So that gives him a little bit of diversity and makes him look different instead of just a straight up repaint of his Datsun Z 280Z brother. So I really like that a lot. Again, I love this color scheme because the original intended color for this car back in the 70s was this color scheme. It was an exclusive color scheme to the Bluebird Japanese factories and distribution centers in Japan, and that's why that color scheme is so associated with the Datsun Z, the beautiful blue. So I love it. Looks great. Little piece of Japanese car import history. The Datsun is completely tied to Japanese import car history forever. One of the first cars to ever use fiberglass, which we still use today in cars. Great stuff. Love it. Can't talk more about it. Can't wait to see more images. Can't wait to pick them up. I have the masterpiece version of this guy. That's how much I love this color scheme and this design. So rock and roll. Now let's talk about Hasbro Pulse and the Fan First Friday. There was a lot of people that were not happy about it. I don't know how you could guys hate on seeing new product. I mean, the way I see it, Hasbro was trying to do a thematic kind of thing. And look, we're going to have another Hasbro Pulse Fan First Friday in 2 weeks from now. So no reason to really hate. But man, like the comment section and the chat, it's cringe. It's just cringe. But anyways, let's jump into it. And let's try to be civil at least a little bit. So first up, what they talked about was the Transformers 86 Studio Series 86 Decepticon Sweep we knew this was coming. We saw leaked images online of the in-package photos. Some people thought it was fake. Some people thought they were just messing with us. Would they just take a sweep and then swap the molding, really literally taking the CAD model and just swapping it so the peg hand is in one hand and the open hand is in the other? That's exactly what they did. But they actually surprised us. Again, they showed off some cool stuff. They let us know what was different this time around. And we got to see that he actually comes with a brand new vibrant blue that's more toy accurate. So that's pretty cool. There's some people might argue it's more show accurate. And he also comes with an extra blast accessory that's different than the one that was originally included with Scourge, which matches the death of Ultra Magnus, or I guess the deactivation of Ultra Magnus. So in the top right there, you see how that energy was used with those sweeps that were pinning him down and or blasting him and or ripping apart Ultra Magnus, depending on which version, the original script, the movie, or the comic book version you are ingesting to know what was going on in that moment. So pretty cool. Again, this is the one that's probably the least exciting of the bunch, but still has some cool stuff to talk about here, just because, I mean, it's going to be an army builder. And people are going to dig that, and people are going to buy a lot of these, despite the fact that he's a Voyager scale, and a very big, beefy one at that. But he looks great. Then we got our new guy. Here's our big reveal. Bam. We got Perceptor, looking all 86 style, as the one of the designers called him a periscope mode. Actually a microscope mode, present and gorgeous. And he looks great. I don't know what to really say. I mean, really just nails that Fluoro Deary, Sunbow design back in the day. Looks incredible. Colors match. The gun matches how it looks in the animation model. And they even found a way to still engineer the Microman third mode, tank mode, that really only existed in 2 pieces of fiction ever. And the first time it appeared, and I have it here in the bottom right, the creator of Kiss Play, Yuki Oshimi, did a separate manga comic called Teletran 15 Go Go, and it was the first. And at around that time, Perceptor was getting reissued, and then was also getting a repaint as Magnificus, and so he was just included in the comic there, and they showed off his tank mode, and that was the first ever piece of fictional time it was done. Later on, it was used in the IDW books quickly and stuff, but I mean, hey, pretty awesome. The fact that they even worked that in there, I think it's great. Now we're all just waiting for Blaster to come. I actually forgot to mention with the Scourge one here, the background that's going to come with him is going to be the reformatting scene. So that kind of sucks because it's kind of the same background again. But with the Perceptor, the background is going to be the arrival of the Decepticons to Autobot City, and it's pretty much Perceptor's, during Perceptor's famous line, Ultra Magnus, a constantly evaluation of Decepticon capabilities indicate a distinct tactical deficiency. So it's kind of that scene that you could replay. So I really dig that. Looks really cool. Again, I'm just waiting for Blaster now. That means that Blaster is on his way. And then we could get this pair together for yet another iconic scene. I guess in the tower, the transmission tower. So pretty cool. Next up, we got the amazing Starscream, Coronation Starscream. A lot of people have been kind of pissed about this one. They weren't happy because this kind of, in a lot of ways, is the better version of their Earthrise Starscream. And the more that people are looking at it, the more they're saying that there might be a whole bunch of new tooling to this that is much more than just the Earthrise version that makes it more cleaner. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It has the coronation pieces. It does a very clean, beautiful jet mode with the new deco. It comes with Megatron's chair from the Nemesis, which is pretty cool, and you can see how it looks there in episode 1 of More Than Meets the Eye Part 1. So that's a nice little cool extra addition. Even though we have Starscream there sitting in it, you could put your Megatron in there and reenact that famous scene. It looks really good. It also shows us that the cape works on a 3mm peg, and what's cool about that is that it works with other Transformers. And because it works with a 3mm peg and works with other Transformers, they showed an example of a In this case, because it was what plastic was available at the factory when they were doing the test shots and the engineering projects, the first ones, the protos, if you will. There's a yellow cape there, and they just put it on the prototype of Perceptor. But you could probably mix and match it with a bunch of other ones. It's a shame there's not a good peg point on the back of the Voyager class hot rod from Studio Series 86, because I would love for him to have a yellow cape. That'd be so cool. But anyways, I digress. Pretty awesome. They just kind of show that there too. That's what the bottom right image there is. So the explanation is that starting with this Starscream is going to be a new initiative with Hasbro, essentially phasing out windowed boxes for the leader class price point. So you see here in the bottom left, you have a full piece of art, Coronation Starscream, 86 movie reenactment. I believe that's drawn by Marcelo. And it looks great. I just hope that it doesn't screw over people, because while Japan has kind of embraced the full box art kind of idea with their product for years, it's been kind of a slow process in the Western world, primarily because, I mean, the way that I see it, it's like it's going to get to a point where people are going to swap stuff, people are going to pick up things, and then all of a sudden we're going to have a situation where people are going to buy product, go home, open it, and it's not Coronation Starscream in there. I had an example of a friend who bought those old Big Bad Toy Store box sets when they were still showing up at Toys R Us back in the day, when Toys R Us was still a thing. He bought one. He didn't open it up for like 2 weeks, and then when he opened it up, it was not the toys. They swapped it out with a bunch of junk. And when he went back to Toys R Us, because it was 2 weeks later, they almost didn't want to believe him. They thought that he did it, and they were, he was like trying to screw them over. So I just hope that kind of stuff doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't. I really, really hope it doesn't happen. But yeah, that's that pretty much for Starscream. Again, I think he looks great. Hopefully we'll learn more. Hopefully we'll learn more in the near future, and we'll see what happens with that. And that was it more or less for the reveals from toy-related stuff. But then they kind of got into also the supplementary stuff, because it was a theme that was going on with this Hasbro Pulse Fan First Friday. So they didn't do Kingdom reveals. They didn't do anything else, because they wanted to stay within the theme of Studio Series 86, a.k.a. 86 movie, Generation 1 hard, 85 to 86 kind of thing. And so we end up with their first thing that they talked about, the Eagle Moss chess set that's being done by the UK based company Eagle Moss. Really dig what's going on there with it. I mean, it's going to be expensive. They're doing a Kickstarter. It's going to be $600 for this thing. But I own some of Eagle Moss's stuff, and man, their stuff is really good. They're 3-inch to 6-inch lead figures, hand painted, and they're really high quality. I have their Marvel stuff, I have their DC stuff, and I have their WWE, WWF stuff, and it's really good. It's expensive. They're about $25 a pop a figure, but it's really good. Considering that this is something that's going to have like 36 unique figures and the base and everything and extras, it doesn't surprise me that it's $600 when you really part and piece it out. But at the same time, man, that's a big thing for me to spend money on just to get a hot rod chess piece. But it shows like, hey, with the stands and stuff, it's going to be like 6 inches. It comes with a pin, and you also get a 210 character page book, because traditionally with Eagle Moss's stuff, when you get a figure, you normally would get a magazine book explaining the origin and history of that figure or that character. Since you're getting 36 of them here, they're going to really go all out and make a thick book explaining each character. And who are those characters? Well then, the Autobots are going to have a King Optimus, a Queen Elita 1. The Bishop is going to be Ultra Magnus and Grimlock. Grimlock should be King. The Knight is Hot Rod. The other Knight is Springer. The Rook is Ironhide, and the other one is Ratchet. The Pawns are RC Bluestreak, Bumblebee, Jazz, Prowl, Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, and Wheeljack. Pretty cool. And if they hit 700, if you pay 700, you get a replacement King of a Rodimus Prime with Matrix of Leadership. Damn it. That's 2 things for me I would need to get. For the Decepticons, you get a King Megatron, a Queen Starscream, giggity. A Bishop Skywarp, the other Bishop is Thundercracker, the Knight of Shockwave, the other Knight of Soundwave, the Rooks of Astro Train and Blitzwing, the 2 Triple Changers, and your pawns are Brawn, Frenzy, Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble, Scrapper, Shrapnel, and Thrust. And your replacement king, if you pay $700 and get that part of the Kickstarter backer, you get a beautiful Galvatron. So it's going to be pricey. Dare I say, if someone's buying a set and they want to break it up and sell them individually, I did the math. It's going to come to about $22 to $25 each if we break it up among a bunch of people. So if anyone wants to break it up, I'll buy the Rodimus and the Hot Rod, and then I'm pretty sure we could find people that want the Jazz. I could talk to Jaws D. I'm pretty sure he'd buy the Jazz. And then the Sunstreaker, I'm pretty sure my buddy Black Dragoon, aka Larry, if he's even here today in the stream, pretty sure Larry will buy the Sunstreaker. I'm pretty sure we could piece this out and we could all break even on this. I'm pretty sure someone's going to want the Seekers, Starscream, someone's going to want the Shockwave. But man, $700, woo, damn, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So next up we got other video game stuff. This stuff was, some people are not too crazy about it, but they had to talk about it. So Isabel, who's one of the global managers for the Transformer brand, she talked about how there's going to be crossovers with some other mobile games, and those mobile games are going to be a crossover with Top War, which is, I guess it's a real-time strategy game. You could kind of see on the top right there some of the unlockable characters that will be available through their gacha system. Optimus, Megatron, Starscream, Bumblebee, Blaster, I believe that's Ramhorn. I have to see a better image because it was pretty small. Soundwave and Laserbeak. I'm pretty sure there's going to be others. There's apparently skins where you could get the arc to change the color and shape of your bases. It's a real-time strategy game. I'm pretty sure it's fun. I'm pretty sure it's great, but it is what it is. And the other one also is Mobile Legend. So Mobile Legend Bang Bang is also going to be including some Transformer characters for their game. It's going to have Optimus, it's going to have Bumblebee, it's going to have Megatron, and a teaser of a 4th character that's for the Decepticons with red eyes like that. Since it's not a visor, it's probably not Soundwave. I'm going to take a guess. It's probably Starscream. So, yeah, it is what it is. Some people didn't care about it, but we'll see what happens. But at least Isabel... Isabel of Global Marketing was loving it, apparently. I guess either she's very enthusiastic about the Transformer brand or she really loves mobile games. So shout out to you, Isabel. Looks like you love that stuff. Gotta love the passion. Last but not least, and this was the big one, was they mentioned that we're going to be getting another Fan First Friday in 2 weeks. It's going to be on August 27th. And let's just say they were trolling in the background of who it's going to be. So if you look in the background there was a certain masterpiece of somebody that was chilling back there. And it's, it's pretty obvious. They said, let's say go at the end. We heard the ending part of a certain Transformers Japanese theme song. It's pretty sure it's the big man, not to mention with that teaser in the background, just chilling there for no reason whatsoever, except every reason whatsoever. So get ready for that. Let's just say you have time now to save your money. So you have 2 weeks to plan. That's a paycheck, 2 weeks. So, and then you'll have another 30 days to kind of save up. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Unicron level in terms of that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be big. It's going to be there. And it's going to be pretty awesome, to say the least. There's a lot of rumors of how it's going to roll out, what's going to be included. But we'll see what happens. We will see. Let's get into leaks. I don't want to cover too much of the leaks. We're only going to cover this and that because there's stuff I'm going to be covering the rest of the week as separate segments. That'll be a little more visual, but we'll just cover some of the stuff that we have from both the Legacy Evolution and the Studio Series stuff. I'm just going to go through it quickly because I don't want to waste your time here with it. I know there's a bunch of news that broke today also, but I'm not going to cover it all. I'll save it for regular segments where I could really break it down proper, because we have so much to talk about today still. Hey, we got our Dragon Megatron that's coming, $49.99, the Transmetal 2. Aaron Archer, who's in the chat here today from Hasbro, worked on that Megatron. So it's pretty hyped to see one of his designs get revisited after all these years. Pretty curious how they're going to go about it. Be pretty interesting. An Armada Starscream. Armada Starscream, while not designed by Aaron, he worked heavily on that brand also. So it's kind of cool to see an Armada Starscream get revisited again. Last time we saw that was through the Generations Thrilling 30 sect, and they repainted the heck out of that deluxe class. So we'll see how they tackle it this time around. I'm curious if it's going to have the Minicon with it. That Minicon was trademarked as Swindle, and considering the rumors of how the Legacy line is going to be with combiners, to have a Swindle with a Swindle, I don't know. But we'll see how they go about that. Maybe they won't trademark the Minicon. The Minicon will just be included and not named. I find that hard to believe, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll give them another name just to save a trademark. We'll see what they do. We have a Soundwave at $9.99, probably just a repack of the core class Kingdom one. It would have been cool if they did a Sound Blaster repaint, but, you know, I guess they just want to probably refresh that trademark. I have to see when the expiration is and when the new one has to be done. Energon Monster, obviously a core class also. Is it a repaint of Dracodon and Vertebrake from core class from the Kingdom line? Is it a brand new mold? Is it Kremzeek? Is it a yellow repaint of Vertebrake called Kremzeek? Who knows? Could be just a prototype name or a code name for the time being. Wouldn't be the first time that stuff like that's been done, so we will see in the near future. Bulkhead, rumored to be a Transformers Prime character. Rumored to also be a heavy retool repaint of the Optimus Prime that's also going to be included in this line. Supposedly the Optimus Prime is a Transformers Prime based character too, although there's been rumors that it's also a Laser Rod Optimus Prime. So there's kind of conflicting information there, but we'll see in the future what it is. So take that with a grain of salt. Tarantulas, much hype. Hey, more Beast Wars. Finally get Tarantulas. Probably going to be a heavy retool of Black Arachnia, but we knew that was coming. And he's going to be great. He's going to be awesome. Good old, you know, the Spider, as Rat Trap would call him. Looks amazing. Skids, $22.99. Clearly a deluxe class. Probably a heavy retool of the Jurassic Park leak that we got. Well, not the leak now at this point. The official Jurassic Park crossover. The JP3. But we'll see what happens. I was kind of also expecting probably at some point they'll take that mold and also do a Armada Red Alert. A little bit of everything for everyone. Dragstrip, again, confirming the combiner flavor that's going to be the future of this line. The rumors are that the Commander class is going to be Motormaster, so Dragstrip is just one piece of our giant Menasor that is to come for the Transformer Legacy collection. And I guess maybe Dragstrip's just in the first wave and the slow build up to get every limb to the end. Inferno, this is either going to be a repack of the Kingdom character or a brand new Fire Ant Beast Wars Inferno, which would be much favored if that's the case. That would be really awesome if it's Beast Wars Inferno. I would love that a lot, especially since that old Beast Wars Inferno now, because of its clear plastic, I'm encountering a lot of them that are broken just because of the clear plastic. My personal one seems to be okay, but I don't want to mess with it now because I've started to encounter a lot of them in the wild that are busted up pretty bad. So we'll see what happens with that. And then the last one here of the Transformer Legacy Evolution stuff is an RC. Some people are saying, hey, it's going to be a Kingdom repack of the RC because it's a deluxe class. I don't really think so. The rumors online are that it's going to be a Transformers Prime RC, which would be awesome. And really, would they have taken an Earthrise toy, then repack it for Kingdom, and then repack it again for Legacy? I don't know about that. I think it's Transformers RC from Prime. That'd be really cool to revisit everything. It would be pretty awesome just to see that. Before we jump in the Transformers Studio Series, we got a super chat here from Trevor Stasic. How you doing, Trevor? Thanks again for all the love and support for the Transformer Slag podcast with the super chat. Trevor wants to know, thanks for all you do. Where do you go to see if Transformer trademarks are expired or renewed? Is that somewhere that you could go to and do research? I have backwards access because when I worked with Fun Publication, they gave me access to the Patent and Trademark Office as a registered business, which actually it's an account that you log into and then you get access to it. From a public manner, you only could see so much. You actually have to register with them and pay as a business to get access to that. Usually legal departments have access to that and stuff, and they just have accounts. I had it through Fun Publication. That account is still existing to this day, and I just use it through that with Jesse and the crew that allow me to see that stuff. And they know I use it, and they still use it too for their own speculation and needs. So that's how I see it. If you're someone who's using it publicly or you don't have an account with the U.S. Patent Office, it might be a little more difficult, unfortunately. You could see some stuff, but they don't show you everything, unfortunately, which is a shame because even stuff that doesn't matter anymore, like old patents for stuff from like Generation 1, you really have to dig deep and use the search engine that's available to you, and it's not that great for non-members. Let's just put it that way. It's pretty complicated. So I hope that kind of helps a little bit, but I mean, you could register for, I think it's called a Pro Pass. I forget what it's called. And then you could get better access to that. That's pretty much how the U.S. Patent Office makes their money. You know, I mean, it used to be back in the day, you had to mail them and you had to request for patents and information. They'd mail it back to you and you had to spend money to do that way back in the day. Today, because it's the internet now, you just log in like an IMDb Pro or anything. You know, like now they just kind of do that kind of stuff. But yeah, I hope that kind of answers that a little bit. I know it makes it difficult for people, but it's how they make money. It's how they maintain that process, I guess. Because they really don't want it, I guess, to be too public. I don't know. You'd have to talk to them with that kind of stuff. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, Trevor. Hope that answers it a little bit. Jumping back into the last of it, now we got the Transformers Studio Series stuff. So the first one on the list here is the one that's confusing, and some people are saying that it could be just a mistake. Studio Series 86 Ratchet at $8.49. I think it's a mistake. That would be something that's not even a core class. It'd be like almost a legend scale. I think it's probably maybe, Studio Series 86, someone else, maybe Frenzy, maybe Laserbeak. I don't know. But it's definitely not going to be that. I don't know why. Maybe it's a Buzzsaw. Who knows? But it's something, there's probably a mistake there. Either the mistake is the name or the mistake is the price. It's one or the other. Kind of hoping that it's the price. That way we do get a Studio Series 86 Ratchet and people have easy access to an Earthrise Ratchet that isn't a exclusive and a little more difficult to get. Again, Studio Series 86 Rumble, that one makes more sense. Little tape cassette. I'm going to go in the chest. Probably leads in the future to probably maybe a Studio Series 86 Soundwave. That'll be a repaint of the Netflix one, which is a fantastic mold, by the way. Kickback, we had rumors already that we were going to be getting all the Insecticons. So Kickback is just an example of that. A deluxe class one, too, where we got all our Insecticons in the past in the modern era, but they were done in that Legends/pseudo core class scale that existed back during the Thrilling 30 era of the 2-packs. So we'll see what happens, but the rumor is we're getting them all. Studio Series Transformer 3, aka Dark of the Moon Laserbeak, as also a tiny figure. This is kind of good, primarily because his original Dark of the Moon one was super oversized. It was a deluxe class and was fragile. Actually broke at the neck very easily. A lot of early reports of that. I got him. I kept him in his bird mode, put him in display, and never touched him because of how bad those reports were, and I wasn't in the mood to break at the time. I believe it was a $17.99 deluxe class figure at the neck, at his ball joint of the neck. Here's a confusing one. Studio Series TF7 Wheelie. Officially, TF7 is Rise of the Beasts. Either Rise of the Beasts is now confirmed to have a Wheelie figure or a Wheelie character, or alternatively, it's the 7th movie included in the Studio Series line, aka the animated movie. And we're getting a articulated wheelie that's a core class to work with your Grimlock as opposed to a squatting wheelie that's going to the bathroom. Blaster, $29.99. That's probably Studio Series. That's pretty awesome, although he's surrounded by a bunch of tape cassettes that are not compatible. Well, they are compatible with them, but not compatible with them from a factional standpoint. So we'll see what happens with that. And last but not least, Ravage, Studio Series 86. Need I say more? So a lot of stuff there. There's going to be more stuff that we'll talk about in the next couple of days because there's a whole bunch of news that has been breaking that's been public recently. It's been showing up on the Discord and everything, and the news just finally surfaced publicly. We're going to cover it later on, but I'll save that for an individual segment in the future and not have to waste all your time here on that. Last but not least, the final thing is movie related, and we have our first look at our two movie baddies. A black truck and a orange truck. Now, you could super chat me who you think they are, because I'm not going to say it. But you could super chat me who you think they are. But here's our first look at our two next baddies for Transformers Rise of the Beast. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Can't say too much. Also, what I want to cover just quickly is today, and in some regions tomorrow, is Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day is a incentive by all the comic books companies and the comic book industry to kind of keep people going to the comic book stores for kids to read and to keep people buying books and to get into the comic book world. There was no Transformer comic book available this time around from IDW, but they're from the friends of the IDW crew and people who've worked with Dreamwave in the past. Matt Moylan of Udon, he did a Street Fighter book. He was the writer for it. So if you still have a chance to go to Free Comic Book Day today, if somehow your stores are still open, if they're doing up until midnight, check that out. Some of them are doing 2 days. So they're doing August 14th and the 15th. So Free Comic Book Day also tomorrow. So check that out. There's a lot of great books, though. There's a lot of great books. I went to my local comic book store. Shout out to Mark the Comic Hunter, easily the best comic book store in Montreal. Easily the best comic book store. Just absolutely amazing. It's like Mile High Comics if it was in Montreal. It's such a big, amazing store. And so Mark, he did his Free Comic Book Day. I went down with my buddies, and we picked up a few free books and a few other books too. And I just wanted to just give him a shout out, check him out. He's a really, really awesome store and everything. And what I'm going to actually show you guys is some of the stuff that I picked up. Nothing too major. One of them's Transformer related. What I always like to do is I like to pick up, of course, the free comics, like I just mentioned before, by Matt Moylan did this. But I also like to, whatever store I go to, I also buy stuff to support the store. I try to buy as much stuff as I can. I spent 3 digits at Mark's store to, keep the ball rolling during these tough times, especially for the comic book world where already it's been tough times in a lot of ways. So, again, picked up the Free Comic Book Day Street Fighter one from Udon. Free Comic Book Day Captain Harlock has a huge Quebec-Montreal connection. Captain Harlock, Captain Albatar, as it was called here. So that's awesome. The Free Comic Book Day Venom Spider-Man. That's pretty hype, that one too. For the Sonic fan, Sonic. This is the 30th anniversary special Sonic the Hedgehog with Amy Rose on there. So there's that one. Gotta love... I'm a Street Sharks guy, but you gotta love King Shark, even though it's Suicide Squad. If you have a shark that's ripped, wearing jeans, it's Street Sharks always to me. Actually, King Shark debuted in 92. I think he debuted a year before Street Sharks did. I'm not too sure. I know it was a Superboy comic he debuted in, but he wasn't like this though. I almost feel like I think they saw Streetwise Entertainment Street Sharks and they were like, this is gonna be his look from now on. Num num. Got the Batman book. Looks really good. The Batman book. Looks really good too. And the Overstreet. Wanted to get that one just because it has... I like it because it's always like a nice little beginner's guide to comic book collecting and stuff. And I always like when they try to make it all simplified for people. So I dig that. As for the purchased books that I bought, just a few little things. Huntress #4, one of her older books from the 90s back in the day. This one was done by Chuck Dixon, famous comic book dude. So pretty awesome. Never got the Origin 2 Wolverine book, so I picked that one up. I'm going to read it. We'll see how it goes. Now, here's where it gets really cool. What Mark also does is on top of the Free Comic Book Day stuff, what he also does in his store is all the $1 and $2 bin books are also free. which is pretty awesome of him. So I picked up a few interesting stuff. Robotech Defenders #1 for free. Awesome. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs #1 for free. This shouldn't be free. I would have paid $5 for this from Epic Comics. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Birds of Prey. Gail Simone. Gotta love that with Huntress. See, again, $4, but he put it in the $2 bin free. Marvel Age #1. Sure, why not? The Bullpen. Free. And what I did buy also, I already have this book. This is Transformers #21, the first appearance of the Aerial Bots of the Generation 1 Marvel books. I picked this up because I have this thing where whenever I get a comic book signed, I feel like it's been ruined. Not ruined, but I then want to get a virgin one of it again. So many years ago, rest in peace, Herb Tramp. I met Herb Tramp many years ago, and I got him to sign it because he worked on this book. I'll pull out the other ones here that I got here. I got Herb to sign a whole bunch of the books that he worked on of Generation 1. And what was cool, I also got him to do me a sketch of Optimus Prime, which was pretty cool. Dig that. Rest in peace, Herb, the creator of Wolverine, one of the co-creators of Wolverine. He was at a convention. He did a little Optimus Prime sketch. Goober got an amazing sketch he got from him. That he really did an amazing one of Optimus. But awesome stuff. So I just wanted to get a virgin one because I wanted to replace it pretty much. But that was that. That was Free Comic Book Day. So again, guys, if you can, literally check it out. Free Comic Book Day. Support your local comic book store. They've had a really rough time during the whole Big V and stuff. And if it's still happening tomorrow, go check them out. Pick up some free books. And then support too. Pick up a couple books, but buy a couple books too. Just to let them know that you still care and that the industry is still awesome. We got a super chat from the Podski. How you doing, Podski? Also supporting the podcast. Let us know we're doing a good job here of the craziness. Podski wants to know, what's with the Studio Series Rumble listing? Is it a repack of the Blue War for Cybertron figure? I knew he was semi-exclusive. I think that it's not so much it's going to be a repack. I think it's going to be a recoloring of it. And they're probably... See, I don't know how they're going to want to do it, but because I can't even imagine that they want to just do those small figures on their own. But I guess they have confidence in doing that, even though they noticed how a lot of the small price point stuff doesn't sell very well. Like, what's left over of Kingdom stuff when you go to a display? It's usually the core class. Before that, what was left over of the Earthrise stuff? It was all the Micromasters, and the same thing with Siege. It was the Micromasters and the weaponizing stuff. Was it Weaponizer? Whatever you want to call it. The Target Master kind of stuff. So, was it Weaponizer or was it... Anyways, you know what I mean. So they're probably going to take a chance with it again. They're going to go to a smaller price point and see how it does. I guess they just want to have different price points for different, affordability. But I think that's what it is. I think they want to put that, that mold out there so people have access to it. It's kind of the same thing. Like, there's a Soundwave listing. So I'm pretty sure they're probably going to take that Netflix Soundwave and make it easily accessible for people at some point. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's all speculation right now, unfortunately. But yeah. So then, let's get into just covering a few things, and we'll take it into straight up super chats for the rest of the evening. We have about an hour and 10 minutes left. So number one, working on another podcast with my boy Aaron here, who's in the chat. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Episode 1 is out right now. Hopefully we're going to record episode 2 this week. This week coming up when I have some time. It was a busy week for me. So we'll get episode 2 out there for you guys. Already past 1,000 views, so people like it. They like what we're doing. We'll definitely do more. A lot of diversity and freshness. And we'll have a cool bunch of stuff going on. What's up, Goober? Goober's in the chat too. Awesome stuff. I just mentioned you, Goober, before. I was talking about your awesome art that you got from Herb Tramp when you met him at Montreal I think it was Montreal Comic Con or one of the small comic shows back then. Also, I want to mention I'm going to be on the cover of Toy Robot magazine. We're going to be featuring issue 4 if you want to check that out. Toy Robot. It's I guess you could go to their Facebook page, Toy Robot, and pre-order issue 4. I did an interview in there with I think there's a photo or two of my collection and me with it. We just talk about Transformers, the early history of the fandom, stuff like that. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's a great book. I think the interview with me, who cares about that? But the rest of the book is awesome. There's a whole section that's about the history of Unicron toys, and that alone makes the book pretty awesome in itself. So definitely check it out. Again, Toy Robot, cool bunch of guys. Forget the interview with me. There's an interview with with Heather, and the female parts of the fandom and stuff like that, and they do a whole section on that. Awesome stuff. But yeah. Just also want to mention the sponsors, Symbiote Studios, aka the official Hasbro licensed Transformer plush pins and t-shirts. They provide us our t-shirts that we wear today. Today I'm wearing their mascot, actually, their Cat Bravo mascot, having a delicious looking poutine kind of thing. They make our pins, and of course they make our plushes. There's Starscream chilling in the back there, judging me, looking at my bald head, going like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. You used to be good looking, Proto. You used to slay. You used to slay like he slays now. But things change. But Starscream, that's how he is, you know. Galvatron's coming, Starscream. Anyways, so symbiotestudios.com, check them out. You know, they do the plush, the pins. They're doing the G.I. Joe line, so you could check out their Snake Eyes one that they're doing for the Snake Eyes movie. Comes with timber too, so that's a nice little thing. $29.99, you get a little timber also. They're working also on a certain Power Ranger plush, so we're going to have some full images of that really, really soon. Really, really soon. And, of course, a convention exclusive and summer exclusive. A nice big one, too, of a Chaos Bringer. But we'll see more of that in the near future. I wonder who that is. I wonder who that is. But we shall see. So that's it for the news and everything this week. Let's jump into some super chats. We'll take some questions from the audience, and then we'll just chill for the rest of the night. We got pretty much an hour and 10 minutes. I didn't get any Transformers this week. It was pretty light. It was a comic book week in a lot of ways. The only thing else I got in the mail was I got a CGC book, but it was, again, a DC book that I wanted to get graded that I've had for years. That's really just about it. You know, it's been, and Magic the Gathering stuff. I got a few things in the mail, but nothing else really. Just it was a busy week for news, if anything. There was just so much stuff that we got in terms of reveals and everything. And I'm confident, guys, when Friday the 27th comes around for the next Hasbro Pulse, we're going to get some reveals. I feel that the overall flavor of that is going to be straight up. It's going to be probably Kingdom and HasLab will be that, you know, whole thing. And like I said, start saving up now. You know, because it's not going to be like Unicron crazy. Don't get me wrong. We're not gonna be spending like $700 on something, but it's something that's going to be more affordable. It's going to be the first Western version of this character, if you don't count a certain Energon version, if you will. The Energon version was one version of that character, an interpretation, if you will, from the Super Link version. We got a super chat from Trevor again. Trevor, how you doing, my brother? Have there ever been any official Transformer audio books or radio dramas? Seems there's a space in the market for that, more of that kind of stuff. Audio books, yes. I can pull one up right now. What do we got here? So these were the old Bluebird books. They were audio books that you got a tape cassette with. I believe Aaron Archer has some of the original art for this one. Hey, Aaron? You have the wheelie one. Beautiful art. Beautiful art in these books. Illustrated by the legendary Earl Norim, who did amazing water paintings of Transformers stuff. Where's that cool one of Wheelie? Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Look how gorgeous that is. So they did audiobooks of this. These used to come with tape cassettes, and it used to be the kind of thing where it reads along And when there's when they make a sound, you turn the page. I have a whole bunch of these, but I just grabbed these two right here. This one too. I think this one had some really nice art with Holler. Where is it? Remember? Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Look at that water paint. That's amazing. Not with Holler. Holler, bite my tongue. Grapple. It's almost Holler in a lot of ways. But these were some of the first audiobooks, if you want to call it that. You could just listen along because you didn't have to look at the pictures. But in terms of radio dramas, the Japanese have a bunch of that. I actually have in my personal archive, I have the Kiss Play dramas, which they're on CD today. You could get the Kiss Play radio dramas. They did a couple of G1 radio dramas back in the day, and how you had access to those was they played on the radio, and then you could call a number, and you had to use a special phone card in Japan. There was these Japanese phone cards. I'm not pull out the phone cards right now, but you had to use a phone card, and you use the phone card, you called to this number. That way the kid didn't get charged. You know, like instead of the $1.99 a minute, you use this phone card, and it would just be charged from the phone card. And you would talk, it would have like Jazz or Meister, as he was called in Japan, Bumblebee, Optimus, I believe Soundwave or Megatron. They'd tell a story on the phone. And so those were some of the first like radio dramas, because they were told on the radio, but then you could hear them again on the phone as a kid. And that was a whole market. That's something that's very popular in Japan, even still to this day, that we don't really have here. A lot of animes, they still have radio dramas based on a lot of different stuff. So that's kind of some examples of it. I wish I could show you more of it, but the Kiss Play one, I wish I could show you. The CDs are right there. There's the whole run of Kiss Play radio dramas on CD. But that's really it. I can't really think of anything else in terms of like the Western market and stuff, though. But it's a cool idea. I believe Dan Gilbazin, for his, let me just pull that one. Where is that? His book. Is it up there? Me and Bumblebee? Oh, it's up there. I'm not going to reach for it. Dan Gilbazin, his book, apparently, his autobiography, that he has an audiobook version of. So that's pretty awesome to get the voice of Bumblebee doing the audio biography of Dan Gilbazin. And that's a really good book, by the way. He has a lot of really good stories. And it's a quick read. That's the only negative thing I could say about it. Because it's only about the bubble of Transformers, it's a quick read. Like, I literally read it in a day, as opposed to like some other books that I've read in the past that, you know, a week or something. I think I remember, like, I woke up like at 6 a.m. once and I just dived into it. And I was like done before I had lunch. Like, it was very quick read. But a great book. A great book. And if you see him at conventions, he usually brings them to have sold, and he could sign them for you, but there is an audiobook version of it. I've yet to listen to the audiobook version, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty hype. So I hope that kind of answers your question, Trevor. Like, there's a few things in Transformers lore. I know in my personal archive, if you have access to the Discord, I could probably try to hook people up with that. If you want the Japanese ones, you probably won't understand what they're saying. Oria, namayo wa Meister desu ka? You know, like, it's probably like some boring, you know, Meister telling a story of, you know, fighting Starscream or something. But yeah, hope that answers your question. We got a gold super chat from Quick Randy. I love that name, Quick Randy. I wonder if he also suffers from GPS, some gold GPS. Randy, now you have to always do gold super chats. You've cornered yourself now. You can't just give $100 red super chats, and you can't give regular super chats. You just only have to do the gold ones. But Randy wants to know here, he says here, I'm sure that it's been mentioned a million times, but why was Tigertron and Dinobot's voice swapped for Kingdom? Had the talents who would perform them like the older VAs? I wouldn't mind if Tigertron, I see what you did there, Tigertron was a pred. I don't think it's that they were swapped. I think it was just the voice actors and their interpretation of how they wanted to do the characters. Look, I have my opinions on Kingdom. You know, there's good and bad. It's FJ. Let's just say FJ DeSanto, the director, he is not happy with my opinions of it. The fact that he goes out of his way to kind of go, like, you know, attack says a lot. But hey, FJ, look, it's just my opinion, brah. Who cares? You know, who cares what this guy says? And if it bothers you, then obviously, you know, I guess my opinion matters a little more than you think. But either way, I'm not a fan of. Look. RC's voice RC. Air Razor's voice acting was good. Black Arachnia's voice acting was good. Rat Trap's voice acting was decent. It was serviceable. Dinobot wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. It got better as it went along, I found. Tigatron, I do agree, was kind of a bizarre choice that they did with him. I do agree, maybe if you swapped the voices, maybe it would have worked. But, again, you know what? I just hope that whatever we do get in the future, whatever the next thing will be, I want to see a different creative team and a different approach, because I see how a lot of these other Netflix series is that have a lot more budget that are based on big brands. Transformers deserves that. They really do. And I mean, we do have other fiction coming. We have the Cyberverse TV movies. We got 2 of them coming. So hopefully that'll give us some kind of indication of quality for the future moving forward. If these Cyberverse TV movies have more budget than, say, the regular episodes, I really hope so. But we'll see. We will see. It's there's not much. We're kind of vague on the information. We have 2 TV movies. We got a comedy-based TV series, which I believe is a Nickelodeon exclusive. If I could be wrong. We have BotBots, which we still know nothing of that TV series. We have the Rise of the Beast movie coming. So we have that stuff kind of to look forward to at different times and places. But that's literally it for now. That's all we know, really. So, I mean, but again, getting back to your original question, like, I really hope that we get something better. Because I know a lot of people weren't a fan of the voice acting. A lot of people weren't a fan of the writing. A lot of people weren't a fan of the shortcuts that they used. I mean, there was a lot of assets this time, at least. There was a lot of new assets, but they kind of avoided showing transformations because the budget wasn't there to show the transformations. It just kind of bothers me, and I understand, Beast Wars was a different animal. Beast Wars was funded by the Canadian government, so it had a lot of money. I mean, watch Beast Wars. Look at the end credits. It literally says, partial funding by the Canadian government. Like, no joke. Of the Animation Act of whatever. It literally says in the credits on the YTV airings of Beasties. You could see it. If you have Beast Wars episodes, it's a different story, but Beasties episodes, you could see it. I'll try to find a screen cap of that and share it with you people, because it's funny. But, I mean, the fact that something that was made 25 years ago could do that, and you can't do that today, where CG really has been streamlined in a lot of ways, and it's not just exclusive to rich companies. Come on, guys, you could put more into it than that. That's the way I see it. And same thing with the voice acting, like, come on. You can't tell me that the Ocean Group guys, and I understand, there's unions and stuff, and that's why they couldn't use it, but you can't tell me you could have done something with the Ocean Crew, get Gary Chalk, Scott McNeil, David Kay. I mean, these guys are still working. They're still working. They're still doing other stuff. David Kay, if he could do a skit for Robot Chicken, you can't get him to be Beast Wars Megatron? How do you not have David Kay with Beast Wars Megatron? Really? Now you got me on a rant. But it's just like, that's my Beast Boys, man. How do you? Anyways. Thank you for the super chat question. Either way, quick Randy. Let's see, we got some members who posted some stuff here, some YouTube members. We got Ben Williams. He says, me and Bumblebee is on Audible. Thank you, Ben, for that information. I have it, and it is sick to hear when he talks about it. Awesome. See, because I remember he mentioned that he has it. So it's only about a 2.5 hour listen. Well, that's just it. When I was reading it, I mean, it felt like it was, I distinctly remember like waking up at 6 a.m., opening my light on the side, and I had it on my nightstand, and I just read it, and then before I knew it, I was like, okay, I'm going to go have like a brunch, And it's a great book, though. It's really good. He had a lot of great stories, especially talking about Scatman Crothers and stuff, and a lot of people aren't with us today. Fantastic book. Dan Gilbison, I can't say enough nice things about him. He is one of the coolest individuals in the Transformer world. He's very open. I like how loose he is, because all the stories that he tells, he's not a self-censor kind of guy. So he's a really cool dude. And his wife is awesome too. I I had to liaison him for one TFCon, but I didn't actually have to do anything because his wife was there. And when you have to work with Dan because his wife's there, she just does all the work for you. But he was a cool dude. He's a cool dude, man. He's a really cool dude. I like him a lot. You know, support him any way I can when I see him at shows. You know, if he has like a pin or if he has like a book, any way I can. Awesome dude. Tells a lot of great stories. What else do we got here? Let's just see. Funny enough, Proto, we were talking about the audiobooks earlier this week. Okay, there we go. Stinkfist69 says, for your information, GameStop has MODOK and... Oh, it's MODOK. He has MODOK and the X-Men Transformer figures half price right now. So if you want Expanse is now half price. Wasn't Expanse... I remember at one point he was on crazy clearance at Target too, wasn't he? Like he was really cheap. You know what? I would love to have that figure. Don't get me wrong. I would love, because I love X-Men. Like it's easily one of my favorite books, especially the Jim Lee run. You know, I'm not wearing the shirt, but I had a Jim Lee shirt when I went to Free Comic Book today. I had to change out of it. I had issue number 20 of the Jim Lee run of the X-Men, just X-Men, not Uncanny. And it's just that Expanse mold, man. I can't justify paying a leader class price point for it because it just doesn't it's not leader class level for me in terms of like how it looks. But I'd buy it for 50% off for sure. Like a $30 figure, I could do that. But I wouldn't pay Canadian $69.99 plus Quebec taxes, which $69.99 comes to about almost $80. It's not an $80 figure. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. But thanks for sharing that with us, Stinkfist. Let me just see if there's any other YouTube member posts. Once again, reminder, YouTube members get all the questions they want. It's just I got to catch up to you guys. I think that's it for all the YouTube member stuff. I have to always scroll through it all. But I mean, it looks fun, that figure Expanse. Like again, because it's that leader class Jetfire Studio Series mold. It has the little Wolverine and figure, which I love Wolverine, so I can't argue with that. And the little extra pieces, but it's just the price. You know, it's the same problem that I have with that new 2-pack of the not the DeLorean, the Ghostbuster Transformer. It's great. It looks great. It looks cool, but I'm not paying $80 for that. You know, I think it's $80 at like Toys R Us in Canada. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, it's absolutely crazy. What up, Larry? Larry's here too. Larry, when did you get here? I mentioned to you before. Ben Williams says here, have you read the Flint Dille book yet? I haven't. I have not read it yet. I have the Flint Dille book, and I have the Ron Freeman one. Where is it? I know I have Ron's book somewhere too. That's weird. Where did I put it? It's the one where it's the one where yes, I killed Optimus Prime. I have that one also. I didn't get to read either of those yet. Those are a little bigger, so those are ones that I kind of want. I'm reading a lot of other stuff right now. If you literally went to my nightstand. You would see that like I have a ton of stuff on it. Like it's like a stack of video games for all like my handheld stuff, and it's a stack of like comic books and regular books. Right now, I'm trying to plow through Mankind's autobiography, The Wrestler. Have a Nice Day. I want to finish that one because I've procrastinated on reading that book for years, and I finally got it at a wrestling meetup. So I want to finish that one. Fantastic book thus far, and I've heard how great it was. It was a New York Times bestseller, that book. So want to finish that one. And then I have all my new comics I got. I got a whole bunch of new Free Comic Book Day comics I want to read. So I'm hyped. A lot of cool stuff. Let's see. If so, did you enjoy it? I haven't read it yet, Ben, but I'm definitely gonna get around to it. Those are two books. The Ron Freeman one I want to read a little more because Ron I talked with many years before I met him, because he was someone that when the 2007 movie came out, and became this huge thing. You know, oh my God, Transformers are back. It's now mainstream popular. Ron was like, huh, people like Transformers again. So he went through his garage and he found a whole bunch of Transformers 1986 animation cells. And he showed them to a friend. A friend introduced them to a friend on TFW. And the guys on TFW were like, go talk to Proto Man. So I spent a lot of money, and Ron Freeman became very rich because I bought some animation cells from him. And what was cool was he sent me a handwritten letter thanking me for buying the cells, and he sent me a picture, an 8x10, of him with Stan Lee, who, according to Ron, he says is like one of his best friends. So he took a picture of him and Stan Lee, sent it to me. But yeah. Mikey with the super chat. Hey, Proto, sorry we're late. Great show as always. Hey, Mikey, I didn't pick up. So Mikey, I just want to just give a shout out to her and Louie. She sent me something at the Transformer Slag P.O. box for the podcast. I haven't gone to pick it up yet. Because Free Comic Book Day happened this weekend, so I kind of went to that side of the island and dealt with that stuff. But I will get the stuff hopefully this week, and then we could talk about the cool stuff that you guys sent. They are extremely talented individuals that make extremely awesome stuff. You guys are amazing. Guys are amazing. They're the ones that designed the Unicron, HasLab Unicron 2-in-1 kit. So thank you again, Mikey, for the super chat. And thanks for all the love and support that you give for everything in the podcast and all the cool stuff we do. All the cool stuff we do. She's a sweetie. Roman Schilling wants to know, Proto, is there a chance that we'll see Venom, Chop Shop, Ramsack, and Barrage anytime soon? Well, I'll say this right now. Some of those we probably, if we do see them, they won't be in those trademarks. Venom, number one, for one. Maybe Chop Shop. I mean, we got, they did versions of those characters in different kind of color iterations. I believe Megatron with the Thrilling 32 pack was the one that came with Chop Shop, and he was called Chop Shop. So at least he's kind of possible from a trademark standpoint. I would like to see them because I love those guys. I mean, you can barely see them. They're all the way up there. There's some of them. I love those deluxe Insecticons and those designs. It'd be kind of cool to revisit them. Look, Hasbro's running out of ideas for the 84, 85, 86 guys. You got to dive into the obscure. When are we going to see our mini spies, modernized with little pullback gimmicks or something? So I think we'll get it at some point. I really do. I think we'll get it at some point. Collector Prime with the super chat. I'm late coming in, but 2 quick questions. First, if I can, anything you want, Collector Prime. First, any news of the possibility of a new Star Saber? We kind of talked about it. I'll just post right here, Collector Prime. If you came late, let me just pull up the image here. Where is it? Let's just say it was teased in the corner there. If you look. So yeah, it's going to be coming. We'll be talking about it in 2 weeks. August 27th, Fan First Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Get ready for that. And what are my feelings on the TMNT Power Ranger crossover? I think they look great, those figures. If I had more space and an unlimited supply of money, I would buy them. I think they look really cool. All of that is based off of a comic book that Boom Studios is doing. So if people are confused by all of that mashup stuff, it's actually something that Boom and Playmates are doing together with Hasbro. So pretty cool. Hopefully one day maybe we'll get a Transformer Ninja Turtle crossover. That'd be pretty cool. But I love those figures. I think they look great. It has that flavor of what the Lightning collection is. And it kind of, gives me hope for future stuff in the future that could be done. I think the April looks great. I think the Shredder looks incredible. The Raphael being the Red Ranger is kind of ironic, but he's hardly a Red Ranger. He's my favorite. My favorite turtle is Raphael. He would be. Who would be? He would be more. See, like Black Ranger usually represents the rebel, but the Black Ranger and Power Rangers, Zack wasn't really a rebel per se. It's almost like Tommy would have been the better Green Ranger. Raphael would have been the better Green Ranger. But then a turtle that's the Green Ranger, so he actually gets to be green, and there's a joke set up for that. I'm giving them free material here. Anyways, I think it's a great series. I just wish that I I had number one, the space for it. Space is already an issue. I have a Ninja Turtle collection on display. Beautiful display. It's like this too, glass cases and everything to the ground. But it's mostly vintage stuff and Japanese stuff. If I got those, I wouldn't even know where they would go. I wouldn't even know. There'd be so many. But thank you for the Super Chat, Collector Prime. Let's just go back up to some of the other members. Tom Laney says, so with Shattered Glass, is there any other figures within the story that could be done as toys? Oh, there's plenty, Tom. Oh, are you kidding me? Take my boy right here, and you could do your Shattered Glass Roddy. I'm just looking at all the Bakon ones right now. We could do, obviously, we could take our brand new Earthrise Sideswipe, not Earthrise, Kingdom Sideswipe. We could do the Shattered Glass one. Grimlock, we'll probably have to take one of the smaller dinos because Shattered Glass Grimlock, you don't want to take the leader class one. That'd be kind of crazy. But maybe you could take the Dinobot one and give it the Shattered Glass colors on the Shattered Glass Grimlock, which is Trypticon colors. Who else do we got? You could take the Jazz, Shattered Glass Jazz. You could do the Shattered Glass Stepper too, or Ricochet as he was called. There's so many. Shattered Glass Wheelie with the Slicer. Not Wheelie, Wheeljack. There's so many. The sky's the limit. Shattered Glass as an idea is just easy money for Hasbro because it's just repaints and it's molds and designs that are already there for the taking. So there's so many. Maybe do a contest where the fans vote on it. Yeah, they could do that, where they could do like which should be the next Shattered Glass, and it'll be a Generation Selects exclusive or something. Be cool. That'd be cool. I could see them doing that. We need to get another fan vote of something. So that'd be one way to do it. Ben says here, can you mention what we talked about this week, referring to the G1 Season 5 and the problem with the image? Oh, so Ben contacted me and he asked me the question of why don't we have Transformers Season 5? See, I don't want to get up and get something, as people always say, oh, there he goes again. He's going to get something. But Season 5... was the one that featured Tommy Kennedy, which was the little kid who was talking to the giant Optimus Prime puppet in the CG for that time. So the reason why we don't have Season 5 on DVDs is because they have to have the rights to give royalties to the people that are featured in it, specifically Tommy Kennedy. And I met the voice actor, or the kid actor of Tommy Kennedy as an adult at BotCon 2015, I want to say it was. Was it 2015? And... he's just a regular dude, just doing his thing. He was a child actor. He did a few movies and stuff, and then he kind of just became a normal human being like the rest of us. He came from the heavens back down. And I think it's just a rights issue because to give an example, if you look at your Shout Factory DVD box sets of Transformer stuff that have commercials, notice that they blurred out all the kids' faces. Like the kid that goes, robots in disguise, and they blur out his face now because they don't want to have to pay royalties to that kid. So I think it's the same thing with Season 5. It's an interesting topic. It's something that, and the guy who is the actor of Tommy Kennedy, he's probably accessible. So it's probably something we'd have to ask him. And look, I don't want to knock Shout Factory, but they try to do stuff on the cheap. And if they have to do royalties for yet another person, they're not going to do that. They're going to take the easy route. And Season 5, anyways, is really just episodes chopped up and everything, almost G2 style. So for them, the Season 5 stuff should almost be extras on a DVD. But if it's extras on a DVD, they got to hire someone to do all that, which they don't want to have to do because then they have to pay money more. And then they have to probably blur out Tommy's face or something because they don't want to have to pay royalties. So complicated. Very complicated. Stinkfist69, Hasbro Pulse has Walgreens Red Alert exclusive and Wheeljack with golden disc, I think. Is that up? I guess that's up. So, but yeah, getting back to what I was saying, like, with the Sideswipe, like the Kingdom Sideswipe, like that's one I could see being used for I mentioned the question before, for Shattered Glass. There's so many ideas. Look, literally, any one of you guys could come up with a Shattered Glass idea. Any one of you. It's such an easy idea. Second water of the day. And it's cold. And stuff is sold out, apparently. Yeah, all the Hasbro Pulse stuff is almost all sold out, too. I think Starscream was the first one to go. Starscream sold out. I don't worry about that stuff. That stuff that's all it'll be in retail. It won't be too tough to find in general. Sooner or later, it'll pop up. I mean, I think the only thing that makes it difficult is the lack of conventions giving people opportunities to buy that product. But it'll pop up at some point. Let's see. Will 88 Comics, is that you, William? That avatar is kind of hard to see. Montreal person, that's why. Just wondering. I get a lot of people I know that pop into the chat. We topped out at like 170 people at one point. We only got 40 minutes left. Man, jeez, we burned through everything today. We burned through it all. Where are we at? You have to be a Pulse member to probably pick up all that stuff. Well, I ain't a Pulse member. As a Canadian, it doesn't benefit us to be a Pulse member, unfortunately. One day. Oh, it is William. Okay. Just making sure. I have Lee J that's in the chat, Larry, Aaron Archer from Hasbro, William, Goober's here. Whole bunch of people came in today. I try to see if everyone pops up. Horned Owl says, found a Rodimus Prime at Target today. Couldn't pass him up. I don't blame you. I don't have that Rodimus yet. Haven't yet to see him in the wild. But I want to get him. My boy Roddy. But when I see him in the wild, I'll try to get him. Had no luck finding him. Commander class stuff has always been kind of difficult. It's always been kind of difficult to get Commander class stuff. Primarily because it takes a lot of space, and usually only Toys R Us would have that, and they usually maybe carry 4. You know, Walmart's usually carry 2, and if you have a scalper in your area, good luck, you know. Larry's a Pulse member. A Montreal or Pulse member. But you also probably are also because you're getting the Marvel Legends stuff and the Star Wars Black Series. So for you, it's probably very beneficial because you collect more than one thing that Hasbro Pulse dishes out. There's Goober. Goober's there too. But yeah, I mean, there's so much cool stuff. Man, these books are amazing. The art. Where's another really cool? Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Although that's going to lead the argument Hot Rod's red, but look at that art. Jeez. Pink face RC. The Dinobots. Isn't that amazing? Oh, look at that. Oh, man. That Sharkticon is boned. It's a little gruesome. There's some gore. But yeah. Ben says, I'm not a Pulse member, but I've pre-ordered loads of stuff, including a Studio Series 86 Perceptor. You get ship if I get trip. And that's how that works. Look at the way they did the back of his body, too. Clearly using the Fluoro Deary design instead of the toy accuracy, which is interesting. Pretty cool. What else we got here? Cup and Hot Rod just bought it. Except, wait a minute, RC was with them. It's a different interpretation of how they met Wheelie for the first time. Super-sized coloring book and all of them. Pretty cool stuff. We got like at least a good 35 minutes left before we could call it a night. There's so much stuff that we have to still talk about later on this week. We're going to do some segments talking about that, movie-related stuff, toy leak stuff, and a whole bunch of other things we're going to cover. There's just so much. It's been such a busy week, and this weekend, tomorrow, I'm going to be swamped with other stuff. But, I mean, we'll get to it all. We're going to cover it all, guys. You know, we'll just, you know, it's been nuts. It's been nuts. And we still got 35 minutes for super chats, so don't worry. We'll still get some questions in and everything, but we'll see what happens. The same question that's asked every time: where do your shelving come from? Everyone asks this I find every stream people ask this. So my shelving is all custom built. It's all elbow grease and paint and everything. They are plexiglass, which I find is number one cheaper, way cheaper than regular glass. More flexible, less dangerous, so you could lean on it a little bit and it won't break, it won't shatter. If a figure accidentally falls, a big heavy figure, it won't break the glass. Tempered glass, if you want to get tempered glass, which is the glass that probably won't break, is even more expensive. So, you know, it's plexi. The shelving themselves are plexi too. What I suggest with the shelving is get at least a 1-inch thick, like it's really thick, the plexi. That way it doesn't bend if you put too many figures. Now, granted, most TF figures are light anyways, but so that it doesn't bend, get a thicker one. And what I like about plexiglass as opposed to regular glass is it doesn't gather dust as easily. I find dust doesn't stick to plexiglass as easily as opposed to normal glass, like pane glass. So, and then these doors, you know, these doors are just sliding doors that you could buy for, like, if you were going to have a sliding door to your backyard or something. I bought those. You know, fluorescent lights. These are museum style lights because this is the Generation 1 product. So you could ask for museum lights, which is they emit low UV. And then these ones here, which is, you know, the Armada toys and everything, just regular stuff. That's regular cool white. So it's a lot brighter than this one. This emits a little bit of a, it's hard to see in the video, but it's more of an orangey glow. They use them in museums so they don't damage paintings and stuff. But, so I just use museum lighting for that stuff, and it's fairly simple. It's fairly simple stuff, and just built it, installed, paint, put the railing, plain simple. I'm not a big fan of IKEA detofs. I own them. I don't have a choice. Like, there's one right here. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing I could do with this wall. And when you have something in the center of a room, I don't really want to build something in the center of a room because I never want anything to be too permanent if it's in the center of a room, because you want to be able to move stuff around. When it's the walls, it's a different story. And these shelving are very deep too. They're, I would have to say, 2 feet deep, so you could fit a lot of figures. And that was a piece of advice my dad gave: never waste a wall. Never waste a wall, because if you have a shelving that's only this deep and you can only fit so many figures. But if you're looking to, like someone was asking, if you're looking to buy museum lights, usually you just go into, I don't know what they're called in the States, but like a Home Depot, Reno Depot, Rona, whatever, any of those, like, home hardware. If you ask, go to the lighting department, they have so many different options for fluorescent lights and actual bulb lights. And you just ask for museum style, or sometimes, as it's called, low UV. And the reason why because specifically the museum ones, because there's low UV, but there's low UV that has like an ugly color to it. And the museum ones, what's good about those ones, it's low UV, but also it's a little brighter, so you could still, the figures still look nice. Like, it still looks like a nice fluorescent. It's not like an orange. Because, like, to give an example, the Mona Lisa, a very famous painting. They keep it under a museum low UV, but they use like an orange light and it looks ugly. And I think they do that so people don't take photos of it. So, but it's something if you want to, if you want to do it yourself. I'm not like, until IKEA makes something that's like, could replace the DTOF and do it properly, that has something that's like adjustable shelves, I'll stick to my thing where I could actually adjust everything and put like, Primus or Unicron and do it right up to the measurement that's needed. Like, that's King Starscream from Cybertron. I wanted that I could get the best out of all my shelving, as opposed to a DTOF that, like, here, I'll show you. What a waste of space. Oh, look, there's my stuff on my counter there. There's Hot Rod and me. But yeah. Ben Williams wants to know, what would it be a dream figure to come out from the Legacy line? Nitro Convoy, the Japanese version of Override. Nitro Convoy and Slapdash, aka Road King from Master Force. Those would be my dream figures. Will they happen? Probably not. But those would be my 2 dream figures. Only because they haven't gotten anything in forever. Like, Override, aka, like, Nitro Convoy, I like the Japanese version better, the male version. And it has nothing to do with gender. It's just like, I fell in love with that version first, so that's the version I like. and that version came first. Nitro Convoy had his original toy. He had a little Kabaya figure, which kind of works with the legend scale. And then that's it. And then Slapdash, aka Road King, he had his one figure, and that's it. Malwave did a custom for me many years ago using one of the Power Core combiners, but that's about it, unfortunately. We got a super chat from the man from Philippines, JR, for 125 Filipino pesos. That is awesome. How you doing, JR? Hey, Proto. Hey, everyone. Good morning from the Philippines. Good morning to you, my brother. I wish I could speak some Tagalog and I could talk with you. Thanks for everything you do, Proto. More power to you. What's for dinner tonight? Tonight, my friend, before I came home from Free Comic Book Day, I passed by the Asian supermarket. I got some Asian, they're called like si mao, which is it's a dumpling with pork in it. I got that, so I'm probably gonna nibble on that tonight. It's so good, it's delicious. I picked up green tea, so I'm probably gonna have it with that. Egg rolls, and then maybe I'll save it for tomorrow. But I want to make some meatballs and stuff too. But I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. So tonight it's gonna be a little light. Got to just get my protein in to get swell. But that's what I'm gonna be having tonight. Delicious. If in case you haven't noticed, I have a lot of Asian food. It's high in sodium, but it's low in fat. And if you kind of manage your sodium in other ways, you can kind of have a sodium diet without getting affected by high blood pressure or anything. I get blood tests very frequently because of my job, working as a mechanic, and all the chemicals and dirt I'm around. So not too long ago, I gave blood, actually. It's not green anymore. A few weeks ago, it was green. But yeah, thank you for the question, brother. And again, thank you from the Philippines, my friend. Thank you. There's a lot of guys from the Philippines that watch the podcast. I don't know why. I do not know why. Maybe because they know I love Dimos. Because Dimos is my favorite super robot. That's why. Viva la Dimos. Princeton wants to know with the super chat. Princeton, how you doing, my friend? Did you see the possible Masterpiece Cliffjumper prototype vehicle mode image? I saw it weeks ago. Yeah, those images were kicking around for a couple weeks from certain Filipino message boards. I didn't want to talk about it on the pod. See, here's the thing. I see a lot of this stuff, but I don't want to be the one who breaks the news, because then that puts the focus on me, and I don't want that. If another website, TFW 2005, T-Formers, Cybertron, Allspark, whatever, if they break it, then I could use their images. And then it's like, oh, they talked about it. So I want to play nice with Hasbro. That's how I work. I will criticize them when they do something stupid. I will praise them when they do something stupid. But I don't want to be part of the problem. So when someone else is the one who posts the image, I'll talk about those images. But that we talked about, I think I talked about on the stream, because Christopher Quinn managed to get a hold of those images, the alt mode. But we're going to talk about it this week. There's a bunch of segments that we have planned this week for tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. So stay tuned for that to support everything that we do at the podcast, the daily Transformer news. It's hard to do it with a 9 to 5, but you guys supporting me and sending the moolah kind of gives a little bit of an incentive to schedule it into my day to make it worthwhile and spill the knowledge from this mad brain onto the gooey surface that is the news every day. Let's see, what do we got here? Ben says, would you rather have a high-protein dinner with Peter Cullen or Bret Hart? Oh, Bret Hart, 200%. 200%. You can't even question. Heart attack. Bret Hart seems like the coolest human being. Oh my God, I'm knocking over everything here now. Bret Hart is probably the coolest human being ever to probably talk with. I've seen so many interviews where he does sit-down interviews. I'd have so many questions. And question, not like the regular questions that normal people would ask. I would ask the Bret Hart family secret handshake, all kinds of stuff. Why does Virgil know the secret handshake? As opposed to some other people. Peter Cullen, funny story about that. I've got to be with Peter Cullen many times because before people really cared because of the movies and everything, he was a regular at BotCons in the past, and I don't want to really say because he would always go for his breaks. I'll just say that, and he was just chilling with the fans because he needed to, sometimes he doesn't want people to really know that he does that, but I mean it's pretty well known because fans have hung out with him who would also, but. And to give an example of another Optimus Prime, me and Wendell just chilling in the TFCon staff dinner, and I think Ultra Primal was with us too. I think Mike was with us, and David K just comes. We're having steak and broccoli, just chilling. And then David Wise, rest in peace, David Wise. He came to chill with us too. He was the guy who wrote a whole bunch of G1 episodes. So it was David K, David Wise with his beautiful wife, I've had these little dinners, and it was funny because David was just sitting there, and we were just like, I think it was like me and Ultra Prime were probably talking about something else, and we're just like, oh yeah, Beast Wars Megatron's right there, sure. You kind of get numb to it a little bit when you do cons for many years, and you hang out with a lot of those voice actors and stuff. You kind of get numb to it, where like you're just used to it at this point. Where Bret Hart, man, that dude's like my hero, no joke. So that would be picking from the learning tree in a lot of ways. That would be me expanding my mind. No offense to Peter Cullen, fellow Montrealer. We're both Montrealers. We're both from Canada. He went to Sherbrooke. I didn't go to Sherbrooke College. I went to Vanier College. He went to Sherbrooke College. But still, Bret Hart, 200%. The Xenomorph. Hey, Xenomorph. Haven't seen you in a while. Xenomorph with the super chat question. Hey, Proto. How's the weather up there? Super hot here in California. I love California. I've said it many times. My favorite place in the world to go is California, specifically Pasadena. Love California. I remember when I brought Jaws D. TFCon was in California. I forget what year that was. I think it was 2015? No. What year was TFCon California? I don't even remember. It all blades together. No, 2018. I don't know. I don't remember. 2017. Someone's going to correct me. I was part of staff and I don't even remember. They all just blend together at this point. But I remember telling Jaws D about California and going like, I'm telling you, man, because he's been to the Caribbean. He's been to Trinidad, Tobago. And I'm like, when you're going to be there, man, you're going to get off the plane. You're going to, the plane's going to be hot because of the engine, but you're going to go through the airports, air conditioning. When you're going to walk out that front door, it's going to hit you. That amazing Cali weather. And it was ironic because when we left, we were all wearing jackets because it was cold in Montreal. And when we arrived, we didn't do it. We have to do it next time. We wanted to find a palm tree and wear our winter jackets next to the palm tree in California. But we didn't take that photo. We should have taken that photo. But I love Cali. Weather up here, brutally hot today. Oh my God. Here's the problem because I'm doing it in Celsius. It's 41 Celsius today due to the humidity. What that is in Fahrenheit, I don't know. Someone do the math for me. It's a lot. It's hot. It's very hot today. Obviously, probably some guys in the southern states are going like, oh, what a wimp. I'm Canadian. I deal with snow. I sweat very easily when it gets a little too hot. I have my AC blasting right now. There he is. It's blasting right on top of me. So it's going like, it is hot as F right now. We got a gold super chat. By the way, Xenomorph, thank you for the question, brother. And hope you're okay here in Cali. I heard the West is getting pretty crazy with record numbers. I know it's happening here in Canada. We got a gold super chat from Alejandro. Alejandro wants to know, yo, Proto, nice to see you again. Nice to see you, Alejandro. Have you watched Ava 3.0.1 yet on Amazon? I have and enjoyed the extent, but you would think the problem of getting the Japanese characters through Masterpiece instead of the main line like Star Saber is. So first question, Evangelion, funny story about all those 1.0, 2.0. Here in Montreal, we have something called Fantasia, the Japanese film festival, and they bring in anime where you can watch it on the big screen. I saw Ava 1.0 and 2.0 on the big screen. And I saw 3.0 also. I like it a lot. I think because I don't want to go too much deep into Ava, but Ava, the manga is very different from the anime. And Not to mention, I feel like they're just trying to undo things because a lot of people weren't happy about the end of Ava. But yeah, I did see it. I didn't see it on Amazon. I saw it through different means. Let's put it that way. As someone who's part of the anime community, you probably know what I'm talking about. As it partakes to Japanese characters getting masterpieces, the big problem is we have not, as a Western company, as a Western market, we haven't gotten masterpieces since Shattered Glass Optimus Prime. That was 2014. So we haven't had masterpieces based off of non-movie character. Movie masterpieces, we get all of them. That's a given. But non-movie masterpieces, all the Beast Wars stuff, why didn't we get the Beast Wars stuff? You think that would have sold well in Optimus Primal? There's just not a market for it. I did a YouTube segment. I think the question was, why is there no Beast Wars masterpiece in the Western market? I did a whole segment. I talked about it. And I even showed a mock-up of a Beast Wars Optimus Primal box if it was done in the Western market. But it just never happened because what happened was, before that could have happened, Toys R Us disappeared from the Western market. And Toys R Us was a big part of the masterpiece market and where masterpieces would be. Yeah, okay, GameStop gets the odd masterpiece here and there, and Target gets the odd masterpiece here and there. But Toys R Us really was, it had the collector section. It was good for big box product. And we just don't have the space for that, unfortunately. And who the hell is texting me right now? This never ends. It's been getting texts all day. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how we don't have any of that, because I felt the Beast Wars stuff, especially the Primal and the Cheetor, since it was smaller, they could have made it more affordable. Where Dinobot and Tigatron, I could get it. Those are big expensive ones, and Megatron. But I'm surprised those never happened. They never were imported here, because I feel those would have done well. Maybe they'll do it, with the Beast Wars hype. Maybe the Rise of the Beast will create Beast Wars hype, and then they'll dig up that Optimus Primal for the Western market. But we'll see. We'll see. Scoober says here, like going on a Slurpee run with David Mendenhall and Aaron Archer. There's photos of that circulating online. David Mendenhall's a cool dude. Really cool dude. Taking a photo of Daniel with Daniel. Love it. But again, thank you for the super chat, Alejandro. Thank you for the super chat. We'll see what happens with Masterpiece. It's just movie Masterpiece for now. And that's really because of the Chinese market. I've mentioned this a lot. The Chinese market really influences the Western market in terms of our releases, because their packaging is our packaging, as opposed to Japan that gets unique packaging. JR wants to know, have you tried Filipino food? Yes, I have. A lot of it is fish-based, A lot of it that I've had. There used to be a Filipino restaurant near my parents' house. What was it called? And it's funny because the owner, I remember, because Philippines spelled PH and Filipino spelled with an F, but I remember he spelled it like a weird way. I guess he was trying to be clever with the title. I forgot what it was called, but it was a lot of fish-based stuff, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. What's interesting is you're one of the few Asian culture foods that actually don't use chopsticks, which I appreciate, because I could use chopsticks, but I'm a fork guy. I like a fork. Just makes life easier. When I go to sushi, I use chopsticks or something, but when I go to most Chinese food, I reach for the fork, use the fork. I'm old school like that. They when they see me, they dust off the fork for me. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, man. But yeah, I love Filipino food. It's really good. Fish is good. It's brain food. It's good for the brain. It's one of the more leaner proteins that you could get, especially if you have sole or carp. That's probably well, sole is kind of empty on nutrients though, but it's good for protein. Man, nothing beats a good deep fried cod piece or something. So expensive, but I haven't had sushi in forever too. I would kill for sushi right now. I haven't had sushi in 2 years. 2 years. Oh man, when is the big V gonna end? So I could go have sushi again. Tom Laney wants to know, is there any word on Transformers Heavy Metal? Still playing it. It's still in testing. There were some crashing problems not too long ago. The stupid mini cons now, they doubled the size of them. Don't worry. They have we're part of a Discord where they talk about the testing and stuff. It's on its way. It's coming along. It's on its way. Goober's favorite Filipino food is lumpia. I am unfamiliar with that. Because I am a barbarian. You said cod piece. Sexy. A piece of cod. Little different. Piece of cod. Giggity. I haven't had sushi in forever, Goober. I like dragon eye. I like barbecue eel. Barbecue eel is my favorite piece of sushi ever. I know that eels are starting to become endangered. I know it's a big problem. But I'm just going to say, barbecue eel, man. That's my jam. It's barbecue eel. And dragon eye. A deep fried dragon eye. Oh, with tempura. Holy moly. Oh, what's for dinner, Daniel? You guys are making me hungry now. Oh, man, I am going to be eating like crazy. How much time we got left? We got 15 minutes left. Then I'm going to be eating. I'm salivating. Oh, my God. So good. Someone speaking Japanese here, Vex. Unagi. There you go. The barbecue eel is so good. Here, Stinkfist69 for the Montreal Screwjob really hurt at the time. Well, you know what? I'll be honest. So, for what Stinkfist69 is referring to is, so my boy Bret Hart, you look it up, the Montreal Screwjob was a big thing that happened when wrestling became real, as we call it. When the Montreal Screwjob did happen, I was in the audience. I've shared on Twitter. I have tickets where me, my sister, and my mom went to see Survivor Series 97. When it happened, we didn't understand what was going on. Like, it didn't hurt at the time. Everyone was just like, what happened? We don't know what's going on. Everyone's confused. And then, like, Bret was, like, angry. The spitting on Vince, we didn't really see it properly. We didn't understand what happened. Like, we see it now with cameras and stuff. But back then, we were so confused. And when you're in the audience, you don't see everything from every angle. Then Bret signaled WCW to the crowd. And we were like, oh, my God. Like, is this being recorded? Are they going to show this on TV? We went home. We recorded the pay-per-view because just in case if we'd be on TV. So we recorded the pay-per-view. We watched the pay-per-view. We saw how stuff was cut off. And then the Monday morning, we learned what happened. In the moment, everyone's like, oh, there was going to be riots and stuff. No one knew. We didn't know what was going on. The only rioting that was going to happen was going to be in that locker room. It wasn't going to happen with the fans. We were just confused, if anything. We didn't understand it. We really didn't understand it at all. But yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. And then we went home. Downtown Montreal, we just got in our car and went home. A late Sunday night. I was in grade 8 in high school. And my mom had no problem going to the wrestling matches with me and my sister, because my sister was a Shawn Michaels fan. So that's sacrilege like there. But what girl who was a wrestling fan wasn't a Shawn Michaels fan during 94, 95, 96, 97? So I've always been a Bret Hart guy my whole life. Always will be. We got 13 minutes left. So to be nice, I will open it up to super chats that are not paid for, since we got 13 minutes left, to thank everyone who stayed with me all this time for the podcast. So we'll grab a few right now. So we have Runis, who says, what do you think will be the next crossover after Jurassic Park? I always speculate. I was thinking Knight Rider, because there was an anniversary for Knight Rider coming up. Didn't happen. The next one, the rumor that I keep hearing is Power Rangers, but we don't know yet. We do not know yet. So what I would like is, I mean, logically for me, I think Power Rangers would work. So you could do Power Rangers, but we don't know yet. What would I also like to see? Mega Man. It won't happen, but I would like to see Mega Man. Because when they did that crossover with Street Fighter, I effing loved that line. There's pictures of me with James Roberts, because I was at James's table, and you could see just the Street Fighter toys that I bought behind me, because I was so happy to get those, especially that Chun-Li one. I want like 50 of those if I could get them. Here, Ben wants to know, would you rather have seen Bret knock out Vince or watch Orson Welles record Unicron? I want to see Bret knock out Vince, because I want to see if any of that really happened. I'm not saying that Brett's a liar, but I want to see what really happened. There's a lot of hearsay and stories, and I have my own opinions of the Montreal Screwjob. As one of Bret Hart's biggest fans, I have opinions about the Montreal Screwjob. That's not so black and white. Let's put it that way. Let's see. We have another one here. Going WCW didn't go well for Hart either. Goldberg booed at the end. You know what? The problem is WCW as a company just had too much talent, and Bret Hart being a part of it in that environment was going to lead to problems anyways. I don't like Bret. If a large amount of that talent wasn't present, and the politics, I think Bret would have done better there. But going in there with already having Goldberg, already having NWO, already having all that stuff, it gets complicated. Hey, Proto, do you know if reissue of MP47 will fix the QC issues? That's something I can't confirm and or deny, so I don't want to give people hope. It's kind of like when they did the reissue for, what was it, MP10 Rodimus? MP10? MP9 Rodimus Convoy. They did a reissue for him, and everyone thought, oh, the reissue, they're going to fix, the shins and stuff and everything. They didn't. I don't know if they're going to fix any of the QC issues. I don't want to confirm and deny that, especially with a pricey figure like that. So it's hard to say. Now, usually you would think that when they do a second run of stuff, they also try to address certain issues, like with a running change. But sometimes with certain figures, like, it can't be, it's more of a design problem than it is a plastic problem or an engineering problem. Like, just they design it's too thin. Potsky wants to know, what's your opinion on Magic the Gathering Forgotten Realm crossover? I love it as a standalone Magic the Gathering product draft thing. I bought my pre-release kit. I loved it. I like the little dungeon cards. I think it's a stupid thing for the bigger span things. Like, I think those should have been silver bordered cards, so they wouldn't mix with the rest of Magic. You could play it standalone. You could draft it standalone. But in the future, if you have a card that says enter the dungeon, you can't reprint that, because then you have to reprint dungeons. It's fun. It's fun to play draft. It's fun to play pre-release. It's fun to play sealed. It's fun to play with your friends. But in the bigger the bigger scheme of Magic, it doesn't belong there. But it's fun. That's just my take. Universes Beyond with Magic, where they're going to probably bring in Transformers and everything else. I mean, we already know that we're going to be getting Warhammer and what's it called there? Lord of the Rings. Oops, knocked them out further. We're going to get Lord of the Rings and we're going to get Warhammer. We're going to see how those mix in. So we'll see. But dear Proto, do you know where Rise of the Beast filming on Peru? Because I'm on Peru. I don't know, brother. I only knew all the Rise of the Beast stuff filming because I'm in Montreal and they were filming in Montreal. So that's kind of thing. You'd have to look at your Peru buddies. I'm pretty sure, if you see some of the locations, maybe you'll be able to figure it out. If you're from I don't know how big your country is, where the big high populous areas are. They probably want to film near those kind of things. We got a super chat from Vex Dopel, and Vex Dopel wants to know, we have licenses, Jeep for MP Hound, SS Bumblebee, and Alternators Hound. Why no War for Cybertron and Studio Series 86 Hound? Let me grab something here. Transformers had the Jeep logo licensed for many years. Many years with the hype. Like, this is a piece of Japanese product with Jeep right there. That's why I wanted to pull that up, because I always remember that it was the obi for this. Obis are advertisement material that's always attached to magazines in Japan. It's called an obi because it's based off of a martial arts belt, which is an obi, so it wraps around like a belt. So I think at some point, like, the problem is it has to be advertised that way. Movie stuff, they advertise it that way. It's based off of that card. It's a lot easier for Hasbro to kind of avoid using trademarked vehicles for War for Cybertron stuff and everything. That way they don't have to advertise it, trademark, and pay them. That's what happened back in 2001. Sideburn came out, aka Speedbreaker. He was a Corvette. They didn't change anything on it, unlike his other counterparts of X-Brawn. And there was a knock from Dodge going like, what's up, guys? Why are you doing that? So when they did Super Sideburn, he had the logo on the front and he had it on the back of the card back, and they got a little bit of money out of that. So keep that in mind. It's always about who's getting paid. And if you could take a Jazz and somehow get rid of some of the Porsche elements and put out that figure and you don't have to pay Porsche, you're going to do that. Because you know that Jazz toy, it's not going to have that one release. You're going to do the repaints, the stepper repaint, the gold Jazz, the black Jazz, this Jazz, the red Jazz, zoom. They're going to get tons of money every time if that mold is the Porsche. So they're going to repaint that mold. Imagine if the Starscream mold had a trademark on it and all those Seeker jets. My goodness. So I hope that kind of answers that a little bit. But we will. We will probably get a Studio Series. Not a Studio Series 86 Hound. Probably won't happen. But probably a War for Cybertron Earthrise, Earth Mode Hound of some kind. We'll probably get that at some point. That's a design that Hasbro loves to revisit a million times. So we'll see it for sure. Alejandro with the super chat. Also, last thing, could I see a Fast and the Furious TF crossover toy line and see a Studio Series car dropkick of Vin Diesel's car? His black hot-rodded vehicle. From the first Fast and the Furious movie. That would be cool. That would be cool. You know what would be cool with that? If they did that with like, if they could somehow do, like what they did with Human Alliance, where you could have the little figures. Like, it'd be really cool if you could have like a transforming, Mustang, but with a small little Dom Vin Diesel figure. That would be really, really cool. Or like, what's his name who passed away that was also in the movie? Oh my god. Why am I forgetting his name? He was in the first movie, and the second one he passed away. It would be cool to get a figure of him too, if their estate would clear it or something. That'd be really awesome. He was in Montreal. How could I forget his name? He was in Montreal. He was at the airport. Anyways. But I hope that answers your question. Like, I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I'd like that. Fast and the Furious, especially for me in high school, and that subculture affected a lot of people. Gave birth to a whole subculture, man. Paul Walker, thank you. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. There you go. Ben wants to know, WWF crossover of Stone Cold Steve Austin and a beer truck that transforms. You could use, what's the movie toy that turns into a like a milk truck or whatever? It was used for the Mountain Dew transformer. Forget his name. Someone could do that. That'd be kind of funny. And then you could have like Kane as like a fire truck, except he causes fires instead of makes them. That'd be funny. That's really good. That'd actually be funny. I don't know who Bret Hart would be though. That'd be a tough one. I'll just make Bret Hart Hot Rod. That way he has the shades that come down. That's why he could give away the shades, or the shades could come down. You know, it's like here, regular mode, and then make this flip down. Let's do it live, and then Bret Hart mode. Do it in pink instead of clear blue. Dispensor. There you go. I was gonna say injector. I don't know why. I'm tired today. I'm tired, guys. I'm so hungry. My stomach is growling. And we got 3 minutes left. Dispensor, payload. And he had another repaint, too. He had another one. He had like a creamy kind of white one, too. I have them all. It's sad how many of those I have. I really shouldn't. Movie toys. Oh, my God. The movie toys. It never ends. The movie toys that never end. That is 8 feet of... 8 feet. No, that's more than 8 feet. That's 13 feet of movie toy shelving. Age of Extinction. Dark of the Moon. Revenge of the Fallen. 2007. Woo! And my couch behind me. Do you watch AEW? Yes, I do. I try to catch it as much as possible. I'll give you guys a nice shot of the back there. Bumblebee. Grimlock's chilling there too on the couch. All the plush in the corner. All the plush are chilling on the corner of the couch. And it wasn't there a Red Bull truck? Yeah. I watch AEW. Now that a lot more people are going there, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. All the talk. Yeah, I have a carded GoBots. What I do is I try to get cheap carded GoBots, and I want them to line the entire border of the top of the roof of my wall. So every time I could find a GoBot that's like carded cheap that I don't have, I buy it. I'm willing to pay like $50 or less for any carded GoBots. So like I have the Monster Bots, I got Pincher, I got Vamp, I got Slicks, I got Fightor, I got Night Ranger, Spacey, Smallfoot, Vanguardian, or Vanguard, my boy. I love Vanguard, he's my favorite. Pathfinder, and Dive. I want to get a mint on card Sidekill and Leader 1, but the variants, because those ones are tough to get carded. But we have 1 minute left, and then we are done tonight, so I will take 2 more questions. You don't have to pay Super Chat, don't worry about it. 2 more questions, and then we will call it a night. So let's see. Shouldn't have Starscream behind you. He's likely to stab people in the back. Yeah, I know. He's judging me, man. He's looking at the hair. He's looking at the hair, the freshly showered hair, because after today it was so sweaty going around, you know. Here we go. We got a question from Podsky. Says, how many pounds of plastic do you think you have on your shelves? Brother, talking just this room. What about all the other rooms? I wish this camera was like, you know, I could move it around. Like I have like the miscellanea room, the game. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of plastic. But I've been collecting for like my whole life. You know, it's not something like I got rich and just bought everything quickly. Who knows? It's a lot, though. I'll try to answer these as quick as I can. I'm going to do rapid fire. Hey, Proto, what do you think of the reason is that Stu 6 86 is not being made to look like his 86 movie animation model? Cheaper to manufacture. You probably have to ask the designers. I think they just wanted to make a perfect Starscream. And then just give an excuse to do a leader class so they don't have to make another expensive leader class that isn't an easy selling character. What gimmick of Japanese TF Bret Hart or Anvil Super Mode, the pink and black attack? He would have to be the Ice Cream Twins. They combine pink and black attack. There you go. And they're already pink, Ice Cream Twins. I hope they don't look like the Ice Cream Twins because those are some ugly guys. How many bots do you have? Most of Wave 1, and then after that I realized it was going to get really expensive, so I just pick and choose of all the other waves. When they have interesting designs, I just buy. The one that I'm missing that I still haven't gotten of picking and choosing, I want to get that Christmas tree one. I can't find that one. If anyone has the Christmas tree, contact me. I will pay for it. I want to get that one. I'd rather buy it from a fan or something than off of eBay. Do you like lasagna versus chicken wings? Chicken wings 100%. Lasagna I'm not a big fan of. It's the same thing, like Chicago pizza just reminds me of lasagna. It's not that I hate lasagna, it's carbs are too heavy sometimes. Carbs are very heavy. If I'm gonna have carbs, I'd rather have Japanese like udon or something instead of lasagna. And not to mention lasagna has a lot of tomato paste, which is tons of sugar. People don't realize that. Tons of sugar. Yeah, like, I don't want to go deep into the weeds, but 2 groups of people that eat tons of noodles. Asian people and Italians. Asian people are thin. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of sugar in Italian cuisine, which people should be avoiding. That's a lot of sugar, which goes straight to the stomach. I'm a food dude, so I always obsess with that stuff. So do Victory Saber, will there be another $200 figure? We don't know. Have a good night, everyone, and stay safe. Next, thank you, Stinkfist69. And that is it, my friends. We're going to call it a night. I tried to give us as much as we could. So once again, thank you everyone for coming. If you want to support the podcast and everything that we do here, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Protoman. It's in the description below. If it's not in the description below, it'll also be in the pinned comment in the repeats of this. It's one way to help support the podcast and let us know that we're doing a good job. You get a whole bunch of benefits if you're part of the Patreon. Just check that out. You get to join the Discord and everything. If you can't do Patreon, we also have the YouTube membership. There's some great YouTube members here today, like Stinksfist69, Andy Davis. I know I saw Roman somewhere. Ben, Tom Laney. Like, there's a whole bunch of our members here, too. You get a cool little icon next to your name. You get, priority with questions and everything. So, that's another thing, too. If you want to be a YouTube member, anything that helps support the podcast, Oh, and, like, comment, subscribe. Always helps, too. But, again, thanks, everyone, for coming. It was an awesome week. I hope you learned something. I hope you got to see some cool stuff. Before we go, let's see. Japanese book here with some cool Studio Ox art. Let's end it with some exclusive art from this book here. Some cool Japanese ladies of Master Force, Victory, and G1 art. You got Minerva, you got Lumina, and you got Mikan, a.k.a. John's sister, who for some reason was a big fan of Victory Leo, and she would cosplay a lot with Minerva and RC there. So some cool exclusive art there for you. Take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed stuff. Hope you got to see some cool stuff. I always try to give you guys some cool stuff to make it the #1 Transformer podcast in the world, confirmed, because that's what we are. We have all the numbers, we have all the viewers, and we have all the love. Take care. And as always, like I say, roll out.